Check out Paddy's new VIPP Club. Get a £10 free bet every week when you place 5 bets of £10 or more. Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shops. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hi there, welcome along. It's the Racing Post Football Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington and I'm delighted to be joined in our swanky new studio in our new Racing Post headquarters in Southwark by Henry Hardwick and Mark Langdon. And we've also got from Paddy Power, Ian Griffin. So what's coming up? First of all, we'll have a bit of a chinwag about the latest issues affecting various football markets, and then we'll get stuck into 4 very, very interesting make or break matches. It's the qualifiers for the World Cup. We will find out who the last 4 European teams are to make it to Russia next summer. Hopefully the lads have also got some best bets on the other weekend action, and then we will look at the naps as well. So we'll start off though, lads, with the 6 questions. You get 2 each, and then you get to answer the one you wish you'd been asked. The first one, Mark Langdon, is to you. How would you say England's prospects in the World Cup have changed from when the season started to where we are now in terms of progression or regression of the players Southgate can choose from?
I think in terms of the players he can choose from, definitely progression. I mean, you have a look at how well Manchester City, arguably the best team in Europe right now, are playing, and Raheem Sterling and John Stones are part of that team, key parts of that team. Tottenham, of course, have taken 4 points off Real Madrid with Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Harry Winks, potentially an emerging player in central midfield. I mean, I think that just goes to highlight maybe where one of the weaknesses is, though, you know, that Winks has gone from nowhere to sort of being somebody that's been spoken about as a potential starter now. Eric Dyer's played quite well against Real Madrid.
Pick the England team
well,
for the first game.
I mean, if it was down to me, I'd probably
Which
go...
it should be.
Well, yeah, I'd probably go Butland in goal. I'd go Kyle Walker and Danny Rose as the 2 full-backs. It's centre-back, I would probably go Phil Jones and John Stones.
No, this is the England team.
Yeah, well, this is...
Phil Jones?
Phil Jones, well, I mean,
he's better than Smalling and the other options, I suppose.
Cahill, in my opinion. Yeah. In terms of the... I mean, I'd probably go Dyer and Winks as the 2, with Dele Alli. Yeah. Well, I mean, and then Raheem Sterling,
Harry Kane.
Yeah, well,
Eric Sterling.
Raheem Sterling and Lallana on the wings with Dele Alli behind Harry Kane.
It's not a bad team, is it?
It's not a bad team. I mean, you'd maybe argue that Jordan Henderson potentially in one of those positions. Maybe Gary Cahill for his experience, but or if you go 3 at the back. But I mean, I would stick with the players that are mainly playing Champions League, because all this sort of calls for people lower down. I mean, you know, if you're playing for one of the big 6, it generally means you're better than the other players. So yeah, I mean, I'd just get Pochettino parachuted in quite a gaffer, and you'll be all right.
But so where will they finish? Where will they be eliminated?
Well, I mean, the group's stage draw is massive in a World Cup, because you can get really hard ones, as England got last time with Italy and Uruguay, and you can get some real walkovers. I mean, I think England should be targeting the quarterfinals. I think that's the benchmark for your second tier of European football nations, really.
Which is England.
Yeah. I mean, they're below Spain and teams like that, but I don't think they're that worse than, say, Portugal, who won the European Championship. Just they had Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's often the difference, isn't it?
Henry, can there be a shock winner in Russia, or will the big guns boss it as per normal?
No, I think there definitely is an opportunity for a shock winner. Like, say, if a team can get a half-decent group stage draw and make it through, it's knockout football, and there's a chance, and we've seen in the past in lots of international tournaments that there's a shock winner. I mean, Portugal were a fairly shock winner of the Euro, so yeah, I think there's definitely an opportunity. I mean, it's hard, it's hard not to see that, France and Spain and Germany and Brazil and Argentina, were strong teams, but, I think there's definitely an opportunity for teams to surprise.
And who might that be?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, you look at a side like Croatia. I know they're in the qualifiers here, and there are some sort of issues with the bit of unrest within the squad. But if you look at their team on paper, they've got a very, very good side. Modric and Rakitic, Perisic, Mandzukic. There's real quality there, and they could go well at a big price if they can get through. Obviously, the qualifiers this week. Okay,
Ian, your question: which continent is most likely to provide the winner of the 2018 World Cup in your view?
Just looking at the top of the market there, the top of the market is Germany, Spain and France, 3 out of the top 5 there. There's lots of quality in both sides. If you look at the French team, look at the German team and the Spanish team, you can make 3 11s out of 3 teams and still have lots and lots of class. So I think Europe are the continent to beat for this World Cup.
Okay, jolly good. Mark, which is the nicest 2018 World Cup kit you've seen so far? The Adidas ones came out this week, didn't they?
I mean, I'm always a fan of Argentina. I don't really know why, but I do love the Argentina one. So yeah, them. I mean, I just don't like the way that they've been monopolised. I mean, like Nike, for instance, they haven't come out with theirs yet, but virtually every Nike kit looks the same. It's just a different colour, isn't it?
Well, and they do that stupid thing with the socks, don't they? So you have the shirt and the shorts.
You have like different colours.
Socks.
Just on kits, the Juve one. Did you see that one for the 120th anniversary at the weekend? Very classy, old-fashioned black and white stripes, no logos on it, just the 3 stars.
I think Juve is probably the kit, don't you, club-wise? In terms of iconic, if you just look at those black and white stripes,
you can pick it out. You pick it out in a lineup, wouldn't you?
Perfect.
That's for sure.
Perfect. Okay, Henry, will David Moyes save West Ham from relegation?
Well, I think West Ham will stay up, but I don't know if it'll be down to Moyes, to be honest. It's hard to see why they've gone with him. You know, he obviously failed at Manchester United. You could excuse him maybe because he was following on from Ferguson. You know, it was a tough job.
And he hasn't done any worse than his predecessors, arguably.
No,
successors.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, Van Gaal and Mourinho haven't exactly, set the world alight. So, and then
trophies.
Yeah, well, they've won. Yeah, but I mean. And then obviously he's fouled at Sociedad again, and then I think not only did he foul at Sunderland, it was the way that the depressing vibe you got from the club when he was there. So yeah, I think they will stay up, but whether that's down to Moyes or not is another question, really.
Have you got any Prem Rail for us, Ian?
Yeah, we do. So we have Swansea Favs at 4-9, Palace 4-7, 7-4 for West Ham, 23-10 Huddersfield. We are 13-5 West Brom and 3-1 Bournemouth.
7-4 West Ham to go down. That means you'd be backing them at 2-5 to stay up, Henry. Really?
Yeah, I mean that seems a bit short. I mean, in terms of relegation, I think West Brom are an absolute cracking bet to be relegated at the prices. I mean, you look at Palace. Obviously, they've got points on teams like Palace and Swansea, but you look at the way Palace performed against Spurs last week. Do you ever see West Brom? Would you really fancy West Brom to ever perform like that against anyone? I don't really. So, yeah, and I see an interesting tweet, or a funny tweet the other day, saying that West Brom are getting in a position where the only man that can save them is Tony Pulis.
Yeah, exactly,
So, no, yeah, I think that they look quite a juicy price to me.
Okay, and Ian, how many out of the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland will qualify for the finals over the course of the next 5 days, do you think?
I think Ireland. I had Ireland and Denmark as a kind of pick 'em 5-6 before I saw the prices. So I think Ireland at 5-4 to qualify looks pretty decent. Like bar Ericsson and probably Christensen, they're pretty average. So I think both teams are pretty average, but I'll be backing Ireland odds against.
Okay.
And I think Switzerland may be too strong, so just Ireland to qualify.
Just Ireland. Okay.
Just Ireland, yeah.
Righty-ho, Mark, which one do you want to answer?
Yeah, I'd take the World Cup outsiders, maybe. I think the interesting thing there, what Ian was saying about the strength in depth of the Spain, Germany and France is one of the real big things that they've got over somebody like England who don't bat very deep. In terms of sort of a surprise winner, I think Croatia are still one of those that could go very well. And I know Dan Charles has mentioned them before on the podcast, but Uruguay, I mean, they've got in Cavani and Suarez, 2 absolutely stunning strikers. Suarez is struggling a little bit with an injury at the moment. Godin plays for Atletico Madrid. So there's just like a spine with Bentancur is just coming through at Juventus as well. So he plays in midfield. So there's maybe a spine there. I mean, they've got obvious weaknesses as well, but they finished second in World Cup qualifying only to Brazil. So maybe them.
Righty-ho, Henry.
I'll take the England one. I'll be quite negative on their chances. I think if the group draw doesn't go really in their favour, I think they could have the group stage exit, really. I mean, Gareth Southgate's the manager who's got really no experience at all, certainly in international football, major competitions. The squad, okay, you can pick out Kane and Sterling and Alexis Sargent, but these players haven't just arrived. They've been around for a while and haven't done it for England before. Yeah, I'd be quite negative on their chances.
Do you think Southgate's a problem?
Yeah, I think a massive problem.
I've got this idea that all these multi-millionaire footballers are going to be locked away in Russia. they'll have their PlayStations up, but I just think they could end up like taking the piss out of Southgate a bit and sort of having funny impressions of him and stuff like that. You know, I just don't think he's going to be able to kind of command them and keep them stimulated. So it's always been a problem with England at big tournaments, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's got sort of the supply teacher feel about him, hasn't he?
Yes.
And I guess managers have tried to sort of rule with the iron fist of England players before, and that hasn't worked. And perhaps he's given them more freedom. But like you say, I think they could end up just taking the piss out of him.
Got knocked out, didn't he, with the under-21s? I think that team had Butland and Stones and Kane, didn't he? He got knocked out the group stage. So I mean, he's definitely got a lot to it. I mean, he's probably got more to prove than a lot of these players.
Okay, and Ian, which one are you going to answer for us?
I'll probably take the outsider as well. If you're looking at outsiders like Belgium at 12s, like if you look at their squad as well, like compared to the rest of the field, like they have the best defence in the tournament, probably like Vertonghen and De Vrij. Look at their midfield. De Bruyne, the best midfielder in the world at the moment. Hazard, top class.
I'm not sure we can call them outsiders at 12-1, Ian. That's stretching. They're about fifth favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, fifth favourites, yeah, but they're still a big price if we want to be backing them.
Okay, so 12-1, you're right. Give us a quick blast of Paddy Power's latest World Cup betting them.
So we're 5-1 the Germans, 11-2 Brazil, 15-2 Spain, 8's Argentina, 6's France, 12's Belgium, and 20's Italy.
Okay, great use of the Germans.
England also 20s. Yeah, this is the Germans, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're also
20s
on England. Yeah.
Good to me. All right, so one word, lads. Who's going to win the World Cup? Henry?
France.
Mark?
Brazil.
And Ian?
France.
Okie dokes, we'll be back with the Thursday live matches in just a jiffy.
Check out Paddy's new VIPP Club. Get a £10 free bet every week when you place 5 bets of £10 or more. Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shops. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, so let's get stuck into two games which absolutely ridiculously start at the same time. Both the first and the second legs. There's only 4 games. You'd think they might be able to stagger them, but no, they kick off at 7:45 on Thursday. It's Croatia versus Greece and Northern Ireland versus Switzerland. Let's do Northern Ireland versus Switzerland first. Ian, gives us a quick blast of Paddy Power's match betting.
So we're taking on Croatia at 4-9. We're 3-1 the draw and 17-2 Greece.
All right, we'll do Croatia v Greece then. Mark, you go first.
I like here a couple of bets. One, Croatia to win to 0, and probably the other one, Croatia to win by 1-0. Croatia have scored exactly 1 goal in 4 of the last 5 home qualifiers, but they don't concede many goals, only 2 goals conceded. I think that the goals expectancy for these playoff games is rightly low. I mean, they are definitely first legs going to be tight, no doubt about it. Greece, as has sort of become their tradition, have kind of found out how to defend again. So I don't expect a walkover from Croatia. And you kind of get the feeling if Croatia get the first goal, and likes of Perisic and Modric can provide that, there's no great desire, I don't think, from them to push on to maybe try and get a second. And Greece would probably take 1-0 as well. So I mean 1-0 Croatia in what seems to be... I expect Croatia to qualify. But the first leg, I'm expecting it to be really tight.
We do have away goals, I presume, don't we?
Yeah, well, away goals will that rule will be
sooner or later they'll outlaw that. Absolute nonsense. Croatia v Greece, Henry Hardwick.
Yeah, just along very similar lines to Mark there. I fancied 1-0 or maybe under 1.5 goals. Greece are obviously going to go there and try and keep a clean sheet, try and maybe get 0-0 draw as they did with the games against Bosnia, 0-0 and 1-1 in qualifying. The only issue is Manolis is suspended for Greece after I think he got deliberately booked, and then they've FIFA banned him for getting deliberately booked.
Really?
Yeah, he got deliberately booked against Cyprus.
Was it
pretty hard.
What he done? No.
Oh God.
So yeah, they're a bit weaker at the back. As Mark said, Croatia only scored more than 1 goal in 3 of their 10 qualifiers. There's an injury doubt over Mandzukic, so maybe they could be a bit toothless up front. But yeah, so under 1.5 goals or Croatia to win to 0 any of those ways.
Righty-ho, and Ian, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, pretty similar to the lads. Like Greece have only conceded 6 in the qualifying. Manolas out is pretty big, though. He's been pretty good for Roma this year. Like they won the Euros before by just spoiling games. So I don't think it's going to be any different. The under 2.5 for the 7 seems like a certainty. And as Henry said, the under 1.5 probably at a bigger price of 7-4. Probably a good bet as well. The game's only in for 2 goals, so.
Yeah, indeed. Have they still got their old what's his face from Olympiacos in goal, Greece, Mark?
No, the goalkeeper's the one that made the rig for for Watford.
Oh, right, he's their
he's their goalkeeper. Yeah.
The Rick or the Ricks?
Oh, I definitely one of them was his fault. I struggled to. I mean, it wasn't the most high profile of Sunday fixtures, was it?
No. Okay, fine. Also 7:45 on Thursday, Northern Ireland versus Switzerland. And what's the latest betting here, Ian?
So we're 6-5 Switzerland, 2-1 the draw, and 100-30 Northern Ireland.
130 Northern Ireland. What do you reckon, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of bets I like here. I think that you could be definitely opposing Switzerland in the double chance market for this game.
You're not mad on them, are you?
No, I'm not. But I also think Northern Ireland to qualify because I think that actually playing at home first may suit them the way that they play. I mean, they'd quite happily take a 0-0 and then what they can get away. But Switzerland qualified with 9 wins out of 10, which looked spectacularly good and really unlucky to not have made it automatically. But Andorra picked up 4 points in their group and Faroe Islands finished 4th in the section. So it was really weak. They beat Portugal at home when Portugal had no Cristiano Ronaldo and they'd just won the European Championship. So it was the perfect time to play them. I thought they were, as you'd maybe expect, outclassed in the second game. I mean, Northern Ireland haven't got that many good players on paper, but actually as a team, they come together very well, qualified obviously for the Euros. Were never ever going to finish above Germany, but they've done quite well to finish above Czech Republic and also Norway. I mean, I just letting the price dictate my bet here. I thought this was going to be a lot closer in the betting than it is, and if Switzerland win, they may have to do it the hard way at home. So they'd be my 2 bets.
Your take, so it's Northern Ireland to qualify and Northern Ireland and the draw double chance.
Yeah,
what price are they in?
So Northern Ireland to qualify are 1-3. 1-3 Switzerland, 9-4 Northern Ireland. One second, I'll get.
Okay.
Yeah, I fancy.
I just thought it was. I had it closer when I sort of had it priced up. I can't remember exactly what it was now.
Go on in.
Northern Ireland and the draw is 4-6.
4-6.
Yeah, Switzerland look very short at 6-5. Switzerland. Northern Ireland won 4 from 5 at home. They only got beaten by the Germans. The crowd will be well up for it, and we wouldn't want to be back in Switzerland at 6-5. I wouldn't, not away from home against Northern Ireland. Very organised, as you said, good as a team, and I'd want to be on Northern Ireland here at 130.
Yeah. Okay, Henry. What about you?
Well, other than lads, I like Switzerland. I think they're a decent bet here. Obviously, it's like a bit like boxing when you get a team get a boxer that's won 16 fights, 16 knockouts, beat absolutely no one. So it is a different ball game when you come into playing a good team when most of the qualifiers are against Mickey Mouse teams. So, but yeah, as Mark said, they won 9 out of 10 qualifiers. They effectively lost what was the playoff for the All Blacks place against Portugal in the last game. And what I like about them is they score plenty of goals. They put 8 past Hungary in their 2 games. I think it was 4 past Andorra, 5 past Latvia. Your favourite player, Granit Xhaka, does play quite well for Switzerland, probably because they use him in a system that suits him. Shaqiri's a good creative influence, and the lad that plays up front for Benfica, whose name escapes me, is always a goal threat. Severovic, yeah. And it's difficult with Northern Ireland because it's hard to write them off because they do always produce big results, and they have done in the past, and they made the Euros. But just looking at I know that their team is great in some of their parts, but just looking on paper, I think they're going to struggle to keep Switzerland out.
Okay, the second leg of those games is at 5 o'clock on Sunday. Every week, don't forget, we give listeners and viewers a chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet, courtesy of our sponsors, Paddy Power. All you have to do is answer the upcoming question correctly and tweet your response using the hashtag Postcast. The winner will have their free bet credited to their Paddy Power account, which is what happened to Michael Connolly from Hertfordshire, who won last week. Well done, Michael. Good luck with your free bet. If you want the chance to win, answer this question. Who has replaced Slaven Bilic as West Ham manager?
Check out Paddy's new VIP Club. Get a £10 free bet every week when you place 5 bets of £10 or more. Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shops. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Right, let's look at Friday's live games. Friday and Saturday's live games, because thankfully they have staggered these ones. So on Friday we've got 7:45. It's probably the classiest of the 4 eliminators. It's Sweden versus Italy. The second leg is on Monday at 7:45. But we'll focus on the first leg. 7:45 on Friday. Sweden versus Italy, and Ian Griffin, how do Paddy Power bet on this one?
We are 5-4 Italy, 21-10 the draw, and 5-2 Sweden.
You can go first, Ian. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, Sweden look decent enough in qualifying. They beat France at home. They look to be a team a bit like, not like, a bit classier than Northern Ireland, but no superstars, but they just work well as a team. Yeah, like the Greeks, I think the Italians might go and just try and spoil the game and just get them in the return leg. It's probably, like, I wouldn't be surprised here if there's no goals in the game, and 0-0 at 13-2 probably would be a decent bet. But I think it's going to be, the game will be a draw. So the draw at 21-10 is the bet here, I think.
Ian goes for the draw. Henry, what do you go for?
Italy, probably my best bet of the qualifiers, I think. Obviously, they finished second behind Spain. You know, Spain, there's no shame in that. Spain, obviously, one of the best teams in Europe. You could ignore the 3 games sort of after they lost to Spain, because that effectively meant they were finishing second place, so they weren't really off at all. They're still very solid at the back with Buffon, Chiellini, Bonucci, and that's what Sweden are not solid at the back at all. They only kept 1 clean sheet against the 3 good sides that they played in their section, which Holland, France and Bulgaria. And, you know, on paper it looks good finishing above Holland, but Holland were pretty shambolic in qualifying. The game where Holland needed to score, you know, beat them 12-0, whatever, to qualify, Sweden just set up to, you know, try and avoid that. And for parts of that game, it looked like Holland were going to do it. They're just really not convinced at the back. Lindelof, Man United's good on the ball, but still needs a lot to learn about defending. Grant Vissi's partner doesn't convince me. So yeah, I mean, I expect it to be a narrow Italian win, like maybe 1-0, 2-0, but I expect Italy to win.
Mark?
Yeah, I thought the draw probably in the first leg. I don't expect Italy to be overly ambitious. I mean, Ventura, the coach, got absolutely slaughtered for playing 4-2-4 away to Spain, which effectively, you know, he'd given up the game, I think, before it even started. So I'm expecting them to be more cautious, otherwise he'll be out of a job. Got a lot of experience defensively and in midfield. He's picked Jorginho, which I think is a good move, the Napoli midfielder, the Brazilian-born. Brazil was sniffing around him, so he's had to nail him down. Now, Sweden, though, at home, they drew with Holland, maybe not a great result, but when they beat France, I mean, that one looked like they was heading to a draw, and then Lloris made that poor clearance and Toivonen chipped it in from the halfway line. Otherwise, we'd have been looking at 2 home draws against the sort of 2 biggest teams in that group. So I wouldn't be so. I mean, I think Italy would happily take a 1-0 or something like that. So yeah, the draw for me.
Righty-ho, and on Saturday it's the big one for Ian. It's 7:45 in Copenhagen. Denmark versus the Republic of Ireland. You going over for it, Ian?
No, I'm staying here.
What about the second leg? You managed to get a ticket for the second leg?
No, I'll go on the drink somewhere though.
Oh, excellent. That'll be good. Jolly good. Right, so by the time it kicks off, Ian's going to be legless, but what is the latest betting on the match from his company, Paddy Power?
3-4 Denmark, 9-4 the draw, and we're going to stay top price on Ireland for the remainder and up until Saturday at 5-1.
5-1, the Republic of Ireland, blimey.
5-1, yeah.
Well, you're the man.
Yeah,
I know this is the biased perspective, but we've got a view from the lads. What are you going to do?
I wouldn't back the 5-1 with your money.
Really?
Christian Eriksen scored like 40% of the goals in qualifying, so he's 8 out of 20 goals for Denmark. He takes the pens, he takes the free kicks. We've gone bottom price 5-1 to score first, but it's still probably still a bet. I think the market has overpriced Eriksen to score first.
Okay,
so probably
that's the bet for you.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that bet for you, Ian, is that, you know, it could still cop, and the Republic might just still win or nick a point, mightn't they? So you're not being a complete traitor, are you?
Now, as I said, I thought it'd be closer in the betting, so I think Ireland to qualify at 5-4 is probably a decent show as well.
Righty-ho. Henry, what do you reckon?
Denmark to win 0 for me. Yeah, I'm not particularly keen on Ireland at all. I mean, they work hard, but they were lucky to beat Wales to get to this stage. That was Wales without Gareth Bale, and Wales really dominated that game. Ireland had sort of one chance and scored. There's not really much up top for them. They played Murphy up front, and you know, it's just for players to play off him. But they've got a few players out as well. McCarthy's out, Walter's out, David Miller's out, possibly Hendrick and Ward are out as well. So, and with Denmark, they lack a top quality striker, but with Christian Eriksen on the set pieces, you know, they've always got a chance from set pieces. He creates a lot of chances for whoever they do play up top, and at the back with Christensen and Kjær, they're pretty solid. So yeah, Denmark to win 0 for me.
Mark, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I like the Eriksen one. I mean, he scored in 6 of the last 7 qualifiers. Absolutely running the show for them on the free kicks. He's on penalties. I mean, I suppose Martin O'Neill will know that and try to shut him down, but. I mean, the one thing I would say about Ireland is that They turn up in big matches. You know, they beat Bosnia at this stage at the Euro playoffs. They beat Italy when they needed to beat them to qualify for the knockout stages.
They've got big bollocks, haven't
they really have, yeah. I mean, they went to Wales, the football's horrendous, but I mean, they still managed to win the game. So I do respect their qualification chances, even though I think Denmark are the better team. But in the first leg, I think Eriksson could be the difference.
Okay. Anything that we might be looking at for the second legs, lads, that you might think is worth bearing in mind? And now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the first leg, do we? But could you see, just in terms of general play, Mark, that the games will open up a bit? Because I mean, the way everyone's talking about these 4 games, the first legs, it's like you want to do a 0-0 Yankee, an under 1.5 Yankee, and a sort of an acca on the no in the both teams to score, doesn't it?
I mean, I think you've just got to be sensible about it. I mean, international football, when the stakes are high, the goal expectancy is low anyway. You get to the knockout stage of the Euros, and we saw that in the European Championship, and this is probably even bigger than that, isn't it? Because, I mean, to miss out on the World Cup for somebody like Italy, for instance, would be a national disgrace. I mean, I think Ireland maybe would be a team, as long as they're still in contention for that second leg, just for what we were just talking about, their ability to perform when it matters most is quite remarkable. And I think Martin O'Neill teams actually have done that throughout his tenure, where he's Celtic and Leicester and teams. You look at them, you don't want to watch them particularly, but he's unbelievable at getting big results.
Okay, let's see if there's any good bets elsewhere on the international coupon. It says here that England play Germany and Brazil at Wembley. That's a bit cruel. I mean, they'd be hard enough pressed to beat either of them. To play both of them at the same time, they've got no chance, have they? When are those games?
The Germany game's on Friday. Tuesday, I should.
Is it?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Okay. Do you fancy anything, Martin? Any of the games that isn't your nap?
I thought that maybe Timo Werner's got 6 in 8 for Germany. England are sending it's a very experimental team that they're sending out, and I think Brazil will beat England in the second game. Brazil take every game seriously. I mean, they played Bolivia at ridiculously high altitude, and he still sent his best 11 for that game. And then Chile needed to beat Brazil in the final round of qualifying to go to the World Cup. Brazil still turned up, took it seriously. I think
is, though, if you're a Brazilian footballer, there's hardly any guarantee their place. There's so much quality
exactly,
in there, isn't there?
And I think that the idea that Brazil bat a lot deeper than what England do. So if there's a lot of changes, I'd rather be on Brazil.
Henry, any friendly fancies for you?
Yeah, just one Honduras. Well, it's qualified Honduras to beat Australia. Honduras are a pretty strong side. Australia really weak these days. And also there's the time zone angle there. It's 10 o'clock kick-off our time, and that's sort of 7 o'clock in the morning Australia time. So maybe a little angle there. I think Honduras are about 10 to 11 chances.
Might be a bit tired, yeah? Still
it's an early start, isn't it?
Pyjamas.
Going to be on the coffee.
Jet lag is brutal.
Yeah.
I've never been able to survive it.
Righty-ho, let's get the best bets. Do we have to sing it ourselves this week, or is Steve doing it? Sounds like we've got to do it. Right, all together now. 1, 2, 3.
This will not be beaten.
Ian Griffin, you go first. What's your nap?
Right. Just looking at the England midfield that they've this squad, and it's pretty hard to find a footballer here. Eric Dyer, Lingard, Livermore, Loftus-Cheek, Ashley Young, Jack Cork. They're going to be up against the likes of Ozil, Kroos, Sané and Draxler, and I don't even see them getting the ball, never mind scoring. So Germany here are just going to dominate the game, and 11-10, you'll be all over that.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't argue with that. Henry, what's your nap?
Scotland. Malcolm Mackay's obviously auditioned to get the job permanently. They've named a bit of an experimental squad, but I think there's a bit of overreaction to the prices there. Holland was shambolic in qualifying. Not much has changed apart from Robins retired. They're pretty paceless, Holland. I fancy Scotland.
When's that?
That's on Friday, I think.
Is it?
Saturday? Tonight, Thursday, isn't it?
Scotland to beat Holland. Mark, what about
I'm going for it's a huge African World Cup qualifier. Ivory Coast against Morocco. Ivory Coast need to win to qualify for the World Cup. Morocco need a point in that game away from home, and I think that Morocco or the draw double chance is the way to go in this one. Morocco have not conceded a goal in qualifying so far. Renard, their coach, is much better than Ivory Coast coach Mark Wilmots, who did such a shambolic job when he was manager of Belgium. And actually, if you look down the Ivory Coast squad these days, Yaya Toure, Didier Drogba, that we've become used to seeing no longer around at all. We've got Wilf Zaha, Bruce, but I was looking only two players playing the Champions League for them: Serge Aurier at Tottenham and Dai at Basel. Eric Bailly's out suspended, so I think Morocco can definitely avoid.
And when's that?
It's on Saturday.
That'll be a good one.
It will be, and also, I mean, Ivory Coast under pressure. I mean, I think we've seen this film many a time. So I'll be opposing them.
I'm going to go for one domestically. Oxford v Northampton. You like Oxford, don't you, Michael?
Yeah, I think the only 4 times they've lost this season, I think I've backed them every time.
Okay, well, I'll put them up at 4-5 to beat Northampton. Okay, thank you very much, chaps. Thank you, Ian. Good luck with all the weekend tipping and your betting. We're back next Thursday when the proper stuff resumes, so do join us for that.
Check out Paddy's new VIPP Club. Get a £10 free bet every week when you place 5 bets of £10 or more. Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shops. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.